So picture this. You've just done it. You nailed that huge presentation, you landed the promotion, everyone's patting you on the back. And right then, in that moment of success, this little voice creeps into your head. If that sounds even remotely familiar, then listen up, because you are so not alone. That feeling, it actually has a name. And in this explainer, we're not just going to define it, we're going to figure out how to fight back. All right, so let's get into this whole fraud feeling. Here's the crazy thing, the real paradox. It's often the most talented, high-achieving people who feel this the strongest. So if you're feeling it, it's not a sign you're failing. Honestly, it's probably a sign that you're growing and really pushing your own limits. So, what do we actually call this thing? What's the official term? Well, let's dive into the definition of imposter syndrome. Okay, so here's the textbook definition. It's this persistent, nagging inability to actually believe in your own accomplishments, even when there's tons of proof staring you in the face. It's like your brain is in a tug of war. On one side, you have the facts, the job title, the praise, the results. But on the other side, you've got this gut feeling that you're a total fake and you just fooled everyone. So what does this actually look like in day-to-day life? Do any of these sound familiar? When something great happens, is your first thought, wow, I got so lucky? Or maybe you set these ridiculously high standards for yourself, where anything less than perfect is a total failure. And then there's that constant, low-level fear of being exposed. Or, hey, how about when someone gives you a compliment and you immediately brush it off? These are all classic signs. Okay, so now for the really interesting part. It turns out this feeling isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. According to an expert in this field, Dr. Valerie Young, it usually shows up in one of 5 distinct patterns, or types. And trust me, figuring out your type, it's a total game changer, because you can't fight what you don't understand. So as we go through these next 5 types, I want you to really think, which one sounds like you? You might see yourself in one, or maybe you're a mix of a few, and that's totally okay. The goal here is just to recognize the pattern. First up, we have the perfectionist. Oh, you know this person. For them, 99% isn't good enough. It's all or nothing. They could write a brilliant 50-page report, but if they find one tiny typo later, that's it. The whole thing is a failure in their eyes. It's not just a mistake, it's proof that they're incompetent. Next, meet the expert. This is the person who's terrified of being seen as unknowledgeable. They feel like they can't start a project or even take on a new role until they know every single thing about it. So they get trapped in this endless cycle of buying more books, taking more courses, always thinking they need just one more certification before they're ready. And then we have the soloist. Their core belief, asking for help is a sign of weakness. They feel like they have to do everything themselves. And it's not always about being a control freak. It's because, in their mind, needing help means you've already failed. Does this one hit home? The natural genius. This type judges themselves based on how quickly and easily they can master something. If it doesn't come naturally on the first try, they feel a deep sense of shame. For them, struggle isn't part of the learning process. It's evidence that they're a fraud. And finally, the superhuman. This person is trying to be the perfect employee, the perfect parent, the perfect friend, all at the same time. They're convinced they need to work harder than everyone else and juggle every role flawlessly to prove their worth. And as you can guess, this is just a one-way ticket to burnout. Okay, so we've named the feeling. We've even identified the different ways it shows up. Now for the most important question. What on earth do we do about it? This is where we shift from understanding to action. It's time for a plan, because you can't just wish this feeling away. So here you go. This is your 5-step action plan. Think of this less as a magic cure and more like a toolkit or even a workout plan for your brain. These are the skills you can practice to build resilience against that inner critic. Okay, step 1 is all about reframing your thoughts. You have to catch that voice in the act. So the next time your brain says, I just got lucky, I want you to literally pause, acknowledge that thought, and then consciously, intentionally replace it with a fact. No, my preparation paid off. It sounds small, but this shift is huge. Step 2 might just be my favorite, and it's super practical. It's called keeping a brag file. Seriously, create a folder on your computer, in your email, wherever, and every time you get a positive email from your boss, a thank you note from a colleague, or good feedback on a project, save it. This isn't about ego. This is your dossier of cold, hard facts that you can pull out whenever that feeling of doubt starts to creep in. All right, this brings us to a really crucial mental skill: separating your feelings from the facts. Look, your feelings are real, they are valid, but they aren't always reality. You might feel like you don't belong in the room. That's the feeling. But what's the fact? The fact is you were interviewed and hired based on your skills and experience. Drawing that line between what you feel and what you know is a game changer. All right, so as we start to wrap this up, what's the big idea here? What does this all boil down to? It's really about learning to own your success and changing your relationship with that nagging voice of self-doubt. I really want you to let this next thought sink in. Feeling like an imposter doesn't mean you are one. In fact, a lot of the time it means the exact opposite. It's a sign that you're ambitious. It's a sign you care. It means you're pushing yourself into new, challenging places. It's a side effect of growth, not a symptom of failure. And let's be super clear about the goal here. It's probably not realistic to think you'll eliminate this feeling forever. I mean, we're all human. The real goal is to turn down the volume on that voice of doubt. It's about developing the tools to manage it, so it's not the loudest voice in your head anymore. So remember this, you belong in the room. You've earned your place. So I'll leave you with a challenge. What is one fact, one piece of hard evidence that you're going to hold on to for the next time you start to feel like a fraud? Hey, for more explainers just like this one, you can always visit us at www.multigyan.in. And if you got something out of this today, we'd really appreciate it if you'd like this explainer and subscribe to the Multigyan YouTube channel. Thanks so much for tuning in.